Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm going to continue with the liabilities of whiteness. I'm trying to make these videos shorter because I know they're so long, but I have so much to say, and I would love to hear from people too. I appreciate you listening to them. It's very important to me. Liabilities of whiteness. Whiteness justifies us living in a false reality. And this, I'm sure when you hear that, maybe you think of many of the people, if you're on an anti-racist journey, that might be caught up in the false reality that a lot of our media puts out, shares, and really has a lot of us, mostly white people, living in a totally different reality. And it's justified. It is literally justified. And it's being made justified by many of the leaders of this country and the powers, structures that exist that are pretty happy and comfortable with us living in a false reality, really not understanding the truth and understanding how the world works. And for me, exploring my liabilities of whiteness and living in a false reality, this was really poignant for me when I entered into a relationship 35 years ago with a man who identifies as Black. And I've thought about this, obviously, for the last 35 years, living in a false reality that our relationship was a relationship, just like everybody else's. And as a straight couple in the same socioeconomic status, and with that racial difference that I just didn't understand. I had no idea how he walked the world as a Black man, and it was the most amazing and eye-opening experience ever that I've ever had, and I'm grateful to have, to see the world through his eyes. But it was interesting to see how white people would respond to him. There's just so much, I guess, that I could say that is so, difficult to say. But we live, a lot of us, justifying not knowing the truth, not knowing our history, believing things that are just not true, that is just not the reality. And not just the reality for Black and brown people, not the reality for white people. I think that thinking that somehow, that I went to one of the best high schools in the country, that going off to college, having that choice and that opportunity to go to college, never even thought about that as a privilege, never even thought about that as, again, something that I didn't deserve or something that I shouldn't have, and not realizing how many people are excluded, have been excluded. When I think about, I was at, in sales, after I left social work, which is what I have a master's degree in. And again, just to even have a master's degree in social work, thinking that I could make the world a better place, which I hope that I am and hope that I can continue to do for certainly the people in the sphere of influence that I have. But I got into sales after not being able to pay my bills as a social worker, having $60,000 worth of student loan debt once I got out of college, in the 90s, and working 2 jobs. It is, I never thought about my whiteness, that just sort of funneled me through, that just, was like a stream or in a river, that I just kept flowing down. And I was living in this false reality, that everybody had that access, everybody had that opportunity. And I don't know when that I decided that I didn't want to justify living in that false reality. I did not want not to live in the truth. And, when I thought about when I was in sales and, I was at the same company for over 20 years, and our entire sales force was white. All white people, all white men and women. There was no people of color in the position that I had. And I know I got that position because I was white. I know if I wasn't white, I wouldn't have got that position. There's just no way. I wouldn't have. And again, there's so much justification for all of that, right? It's just such a false realities. I remember, a person high up in the company, well, we're, a service industry, and, most of the people that, we call on or, in our companies are white. And so, we can't have, people across difference. And again, it's almost perpetuating racism by assuming that other people are racist and that's going to affect your business, instead of doing the right thing that are the right people to put in your positions. So it's been very interesting to see people who still justify living in a false reality. Again, a lot of people that believe a lot of things that are not true. And they don't want to hear the truth. And I think that's what's so powerful about whiteness, is that you can literally deny the truth and just say it's not true. It's just not the way it is. It's just, I don't believe that. And you're justified in that. And you can literally keep going on in your life, not knowing the truth and having no interest in understanding the truth. And that is such a liability that whiteness puts on us, that we can literally deny the truth around us, what we see, what's happening to people, what's happening in the country, the power structures, the corporate powers, how racist capitalism is affecting all of us and so many in our community and affecting our democracy. And we deny it, and we just live in a false reality, and we just keep going on. It is such a liability, and I hope that all of us as white people begin to see the truth and decide that that's not the how and where we want to live. We want a democracy that is rooted in truth, and no longer justify things that are just so damaging to ourselves, and especially so many other people, and killing people. It's a lot to think about, and I would love to hear your thoughts, and have a great day.